At least for me, one of the most fun things about doing character illustration and animation is expressiveness. The risk of making a face look weird and uncanny is what makes a lot of people stick to drawing only neutral faces, but this means you miss out on an important part of conveying a character's personality or fail to communicate your intended emotion in a narrative piece. It's easier to draw a good-looking expression when you're working off of a good base. A dynamic head shape can allow for a more dynamic expression. A good way to get more dynamic shapes is by making them asymmetrical and seeming to be pinched or skewed in a direction. These have a more energetic look to them compared to a shape that's more even and upright. Whether you're an animator or not, the animation principle of squash and stretch is very applicable to drawing head shapes. When a person opens their mouth and eyes, their head shape appears to stretch vertically. When they shut their eyes and mouth tight, their head shape squashes down, looking wider. How much you can exaggerate this really depends on the art style. A very stylized, cartoony character can pull this off at the most extreme. For a realistic person, the effect will still be present but more subtle. In general, you can most likely push this more than you think you can though. Of course, the skull inside of a head is rigid, not something that can be stretched. What this is mostly based on is just the movement of the mouth, specifically the face muscles and jaw. The jaw opening lowers the chin and so makes the face appear longer, and at the same time also pulls on the skin of the cheeks, making the head narrower. If you put your hands on the sides of your face and then open your mouth wide, you can feel your face narrow and stretch. Then when you make a scrunched expression with a wide, closed smile, you will feel your skin become puffy. The hinge of the jaw is very important to think about when drawing an open mouth. As it swings down, the lower half of the face curves down towards the neck. No one thinks that the jaw drops straight down like a nutcracker, but it's still something that's easily forgotten when you're just focused on drawing the mouth and not thinking about the structure underneath. This also isn't just applicable for drawing side profiles, but most other angles as well. For example, at this 3/4 view, I've shaped this mouth to be skewed to show how it's angled. The mouth doesn't ever need to be symmetrical, no matter the art style. It's a very flexible part of a face, and an expression will usually benefit from using an asymmetrical shape. Within reason, it doesn't even need to have its center directly underneath the nose, because of the muscles that are able to move the mouth around. You also need to consider perspective. Looking at this face again, the corner of the mouth is further out and sharper on this side because that's how it should look at a 3/4 angle. It's a very small thing, but compared to a shape that's more symmetrical, you can tell how much of a difference it makes. If your eyeline is straight, you're probably not getting as much as you can out of the expression. If a person is looking even just slightly up or down, a more interesting angle than staring perfectly ahead, the eyeline will become a curve. Once I have a head shape down, the next thing I prefer to do is add a C curve for the eyes, and then either a C or S curve for the eyebrows. Wrinkles on the face can appear on the forehead, around the eyes, and on the nose and mouth. Don't worry too much about wrinkles making your character look older than they're supposed to be, although subtle is usually better, especially for stylized faces. Instead of a realistic amount of forehead wrinkles for raised eyebrows, simplify to just a couple short lines. Under the eyes, one short line can indicate intense emotion like stress, but 2 longer lines are only going to be ideal for them looking really tired. Any wrinkle where the skin doesn't look convincingly pinched or bunched up might instead look like some kind of scratch or blemish, so make sure to sell the action of the face that's causing the wrinkles. There's also more to conveying an emotion in a character than just facial expressions. I like to include the neck and shoulders in a lineup of expressions because it's enough of the body to show some of the character's posture. Raised shoulders work for when a character is feeling shy or tense, while lowered shoulders belong better to someone who's feeling confident, alert, or relaxed. The neck adds to this as well, showing interest or focus by angling forward, and feelings like fear, disgust, or pride by sticking upward. As a special, probably one-time thing, I'm going to be doing recorded feedback and paintovers for anyone who becomes a member on my Patreon. Joining any tier will give you access to a form where you can send in your art. Whether you support me for just a month or 2, or stick around longer, I really appreciate it, and if you've been considering joining, now is a great time. The deadline to submit a drawing or painting for the critique will be April 11th, and I'll probably be putting it all into an unlisted video around the end of the month. Thank you to my Patreon members, and thanks for watching.